All right, so now it's time for us to bring our speaker up, but we have a tradition. You have to go all the way to the back of the room. And I'm very honored to have Ann Johnson here. I was able to build a relationship also with her. She's also an entrepreneur before she became mayor. She's had her business. She's going to be celebrating. We're going to make an announcement about that, but she's celebrating 30 years of being in business here in Stockton. And so, I got to tell you, that's why she got my vote, because she was an entrepreneur. Right? She understood what we have to go through. Have you guys ever had those salespeople that come in and they're going to talk about developing and revamping your entire business, but they've never been an entrepreneur? You know, it's what I talk about. We should always pay attention to who we listen to and make sure that they can teach us by the examples that they have built. And that's exactly what Ann Johnson has done. And she's been here, she's been working with projects. I've worked with her on projects from downtown, in the downtown Stockton area. I mean, we got this beautiful marina that came in. I mean, a lot of exciting stuff that's happening here. I mean, Stockton, you know, they voted it as the most miserable city, but I'll tell you right now, there's people still buried in snow, and after this, I'm probably going to go play golf at Brookside in shorts and flip-flops, right? While everybody else is dealing with tornadoes. So, we've got to educate people about what Stockton brings, what Northern California brings, and why it's a gem here. And so, I'm just honored, and I want to give a big, successful thinker standing ovation for Mayor Ann Johnson.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you, all of you who are here for Successful Thinkers. I'm really happy to be here today because, for a number of reasons, because all of you are smiling and happy and obviously out there ready to do very well by the business or the industry that you're involved in. And I just have to tell you, as Jared mentioned, my company is celebrating 30 years this year. 30 years in business right here in Stockton, California. In fact, this afternoon at 4 o'clock, there's going to be a Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting to celebrate those 30 years. So you're all invited to drop by if you like. My business is the Balloonery Incorporated. Balloons. And we do balloons and party supplies and helium tank rentals, and we're located down on Harding Way. And 30 years ago, when I told people I was in the balloon business, they said, "You're what? You're what? You can't make a living selling balloons. That's crazy." I can't tell you how many people looked at me like I was totally out of my mind in that day. Well, here we are, 30 years later, still alive, still successful, still employing right now 6 people in the city of Stockton, still with a presence and still giving back to the community. How's that for selling balloons? The message is, don't let people tell you you're crazy. If you have an idea and you know the market and you've done your homework, you've done your research, you've done all the stuff that makes you successful, go for it. Because you inside, intuitively, know what's going to work because you have some sense of that. So don't let people put you down, and if they do, tell them, forget it. This is important, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be successful. So I just tell people, you know what? I'm laughing all the way to the bank. And I continue to do that. Have things been difficult the last couple of years? Absolutely. They've been difficult for all of us. Our sales have dropped, we've had to retire or lay off employees, we've had to cut back on purchasing, we've had to do those things that we never ever as business people like to do. Because what we want to do is contribute to the economy. We want to be out there spending money, employing people, getting those sales in that keeps that money moving in our economy. Because as mayor, I want you all to be successful, because if you're successful, you bring in the tax dollars that make my job a whole lot easier. And that's really important, because one of the messages I'd like to leave with you is that it's important that you adopt the mantra, buy local, shop local. I will not accept any of you going online and buying on the web, on the internet. Now is not the time to be taking the easy way out. It's very easy to go in your computer and buy whatever you want from wherever. It's so simple. Does it help us? Not a bit. We get $0. We get nothing from your efforts when you go on the internet. So now, especially in this time of economic recession, I call it the Great Recession, it's so important that you invest locally, that you do the computer for everything else, but not for your shopping. Go out and go to that local business down the street or downtown. Buy what you need here. Support that business, because that supports this economy. That supports that business person who can continue to employ your neighbors, your friends, your family. If you don't do that, the businesses end up going out of business. And we have seen how many businesses in our community that have gone out of business. We have to support our local business people. I've had a business in Stockton for 30 years. There has been very little that I could not find right here in Stockton. Very little in terms of services, in terms of products, certainly employees. Everyone is local. And I pride myself on making sure that whatever it is I want, I find it locally. Because it's important to me. Again, those relationships are important. It's making those connections. I would not be in business today if I didn't have good connections, good relationships with not only my customers who continue to come back. Most of our business is referral. Most of it is because people have been happy with what we do, and they refer our services to their friends or their family. But it's also the relationships developed with other businesses, because I can call them and say, hey, can you help me with this? Well, I don't carry it, but I'll order it for you if you'll buy it. Absolutely, I'll buy it. Just get it in stock. Because that's what I do with my customers. If they need a product that I don't currently carry, and I'm pretty sure they're going to continue buying, I'll special order it and bring it in, because I want them to buy here. I want them to buy local. When you buy local, what happens? The tax dollars that you spend stay right here in Stockton. They pay for the police, the fire, the libraries, the community centers, all the things you take for granted. So if you want to see enhanced services, if you don't want to see layoffs, if you don't want to see reductions in service, you need to spend your money right here in Stockton, California. The most magnificent city there is. Yes. So here it is. You know, the city of Stockton, obviously, been called the most miserable city in the nation, right? They don't know what they're talking about. They're absolutely, just like they didn't know what they were talking about when they told me I couldn't make a living selling balloons. Same thing. They don't know what they're talking about. So the best part of that whole thing that Forbes did to us was to rally the community. The best thing was the fact that all of a sudden, the community is stepping forward and saying, hold the line, wait a minute, what are you saying? This is wrong, this is not Stockton. And for the first time, community individuals and organizations stood up and showed Forbes what Stockton is really like. From Greg Basso, who did the 4-minute video about Stockton, how great it was, I'm sure you've seen it, it's online, it's gone viral, to the Miracle Mile Merchants Improvement Organization that decided they were going to do an event on the Miracle Mile and do a photograph that showed how Stocktonians care. I'm sure you all saw that in the records. Fabulous turnout, fabulous event. The community did it. Not a penny of your tax dollars went to do that. We don't have any tax dollars. That's the problem. The city of Stockton is broke. There's no doubt about that. So we depend upon all of our community partners to step up and make a difference in our community, and they have. So I want to thank each of you, those of you who sent off a blasting email to Forbes saying, you're crazy, you got it wrong. To the organizations that have stepped up to the plate. Because you know what, Forbes magazine expects me, the mayor, they expect city staff to stand up and defend the city. That's our job. But when local citizens stand up and do it, that's what makes the difference. And the guy at Forbes that wrote that did all that surveying and ranked us, he's been bugged to death ever since it came out. Emails, letters, videos, all kinds of stuff going his way, telling him how crazy he is and how he better really recognize what makes a community. That these statistics, we know the statistics. We're along with lots of other cities in the state and in the nation. High unemployment, high crime, high foreclosures. We're not the only ones in that boat. Why pick on us? They rank, I mean, of the 5 top cities, the only one out of state was Miami. Or Sacramento, Stockton, Merced, I don't think it was Fresno, but maybe it was Madera. It was all California cities. California here, valley cities, that in fact are struggling with this Great Recession. So, how do we get out of this Great Recession? How do we turn Forbes on its ear? I mean, how do we basically change those statistics? We do it by building our economy, by doing what we all know how to do best. Doing business here, expanding our businesses, doing everything we can to improve the local economy. Some of the bright spots on the horizon are the fact that the prison medical facilities, the state prison medical facilities are locating here in Stockton. They're constructing them now. That's going to be jobs for like 3,500 people in our area. That's huge, because it's all about jobs, right? It's all about jobs and creating jobs. So we're real happy to take the state money to do this. And the opportunity for our local folks to get training and healthcare careers is happening. We've got partnerships with CSUS Stanislaus, with Kaiser Permanente, with St. Joe's, with Dameron, with Stockton Unified School District, with the county office of it. Everyone is attempting to provide the training so that our local folks can get those jobs when they actually open that facility late in 2013. It's not too long, 2 years. But that's a huge number of jobs that's really important. That's right up there. There's a number of other things happening. The city of Stockton is very mindful of how difficult it is to do business in Stockton, in California. So some of the things that we have done just in the last couple of years that you might be interested in as business people. I'm not sure how much time I have here. Am I okay?
Another hour. Good.
Another hour? No. You don't want to listen to me for another hour. Not that I couldn't talk for another hour, but you don't want to listen to me. Some of the things that we've done is when I was first elected mayor, the council and I passed a local hire ordinance. Local hire, because again, jobs are the key phrase here. So that means that any city contracts that are put out for construction of any project are going to require the contractor to hire 50% of their workforce from the locals, from Stockton residents. No longer are we going to allow companies from Texas to come in, bring in their workforce, pay them, and then take the money out of our community. It's your tax dollars. We need to put them right back into our city. So we've got a local hire ordinance and local preference. We prefer to buy from local companies. So we look at every contract out there and see if there's a local provider that can actually provide that service. So that's real important. One of the things we heard in some meetings that we had was access to capital. You can't get money. I mean, all of you out there needing to get loans from the banks are not very cooperative these days. The banks are very tight with their credit. They're very difficult to work with. We heard it from small business people particularly. They might have some credit challenges. So what the City of Stockton has done with using their CDBG or Community Development Block Grant money, we established a micro loan fund of $300,000 a year, $300,000 for small businesses to come to the city to apply for a loan of $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever the small business needs. And unlike the bank, we're not as critical of all this in the past. The only requirement we have is that you hire one person as a result of the money we loan you. One person. The idea is to make sure that jobs are created from this. So we've given out something like 12 loans to date, and all different amounts. And everything from someone going to get an ABC license to sell liquor, that they needed that extra $5,000 to do that, to someone who wanted to expand their business into the next piece of their shopping center. They needed the money to do the capital improvements. So I'm suggesting to you, if you need capital and you have a plan and you're going to hire somebody, come to the City of Stockton. We can help you there. The other thing we've done, because we get criticism constantly about how difficult it is, how expensive it is to do business here because of fees and the permit center and a lot of that, we have reduced developer fees by 50%. In many instances, we have eliminated them in the downtown area. We have deferred many developer fees because we know sometimes those are the things that are the biggest obstacles to getting people in to do the projects that we need. So we're working very hard to make it easier for you to do business here. Right now we're looking at the Community Development Department, the permit center, because we get hammered all the time about how long it takes to get a permit to do things. And some of you are smiling and laughing because you know how difficult it is depending upon what you're doing. There's no doubt there are issues there's no doubt that we could do things faster, better, more efficiently to get you out the door to open your business or to expand your business or to relocate. We're going to make it happen. We're going to get that. Community Development Permit Center streamlined. We're going to make sure that the processes are seamless. The City Council and I are by and large business people. We want the city to run more like a business. And in your businesses, you take care of your customers. First off, you take care of the person who's sitting right here who's come to you for help. We all in the city, as in our business, need to recognize that our customer is the lifeblood of our business. If we don't take care of our customers right, we're out of business. Now, the city needs to adopt that philosophy. If we don't take care of our citizens and our customers, we're also going to be out of business because we won't have the fees, we won't have the money coming in that we need to prosper. So, my pledge to you is, before I leave this office of mayor, and frankly, I don't intend to leave for a few more years because I'm going to run again next year. I'm not going to. And I intend to win, by the way. Because I'm successful, right? Yeah. We don't think negatively, we always think positively. Yes. I vowed to sell balloons and do a business. I vowed to be mayor one day, and I'm going to keep doing it until they run me out. That's going to be a few years when term limits kick in. At any rate, I'm telling you, we will work very hard. I will work very hard to get things in an organized fashion, to make the processes seamless, to make city staff, to help city staff treat you like the citizens and the customers you need to be treated as. So it's important that we do this, and we're all on the same page. That's what we do. We serve you. That's what I am. I'm a public servant. I'm here because of you. I'm here to serve you. So my door is always open. I'm always available. I'm happy to answer your phone calls, to take your emails. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. Lord knows there's a whole lot of questions out there and difficulties. But I'm going to stop talking and let you ask some questions if you like. Well, since I'm here, you may have burning questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. But my pledge to you is we're going to work very hard to make life easier for you in this city of Stockton. We're going to make sure we get off that Forbes most miserable list. And we're going to make sure that each of you feels good as best we can about living and working and being part of this city of Stockton. So with that, thank you so much. Is there time for questions there?
Who has any questions?
Does anyone have any questions? Yeah.
Mayor Johnson, I have several small businesses that are struggling that I would like to guide them to that money that you spoke about.
Yes.
Where would we send these people and how would we get them rolling?
Our Economic Development Department in City Hall. It's a separate department. Call them, make an appointment with Greg Folsom. That's the name, Greg Folsom. We'll take care of you. In our Economic Development Department, we recreated an economic development department. We didn't have one before I came on as mayor. We didn't have economic development. Our success is all about economic development, so we have to have that. Other questions?
Yes, in regards to our city manager, Bob Dice, I know that you've been working very hard with him and the other city council members. Can you tell us a little bit more what's going on in the state of the city and how that's progressing?
Well, I'm very happy to, if you didn't know, the city council hired a new city manager last year, Bob Dice. He comes with some 30 years of experience in cities in Washington, Oregon, and most recently from Sonoma County. He was county administrator there. He's put together a team of financial experts, labor negotiators that are working very much at getting us on a solid financial footing, because right now, like I said, we're broke. We don't have the funds. And come July 1st, we have to have a balanced budget in our city by law. And so there's only two choices we have in the city. We either have to cut services, cut employees, reduce the level, again, of what we do for you all, or the other choice is for our employees to give concessions, to give back salary, to pay toward retirement, to pay toward health benefits, to give back some ad pays. It's either, and that's how they're going to save the jobs that they have, is by giving back. Now that's hard. That's really hard for employees to do, because we've had very generous packages, salary packages, particularly benefit packages in the city of Stockton. In fact, for every dollar of salary that we spend $1.15 on benefits alone, and that's a whole series of benefits. So we have to get that more in line with the private sector. None of you spend that kind of money on benefits, do you? No, it's unheard of. You'd be bankrupt, which obviously is way out there. Hopefully, we hope that we're going to be able to get the concessions, that we're going to be able to do what we need to do. Last year, we declared a fiscal emergency because we needed to tell the world how serious the financial situation was. I'm very hopeful that our city manager and the council, we have the wherewithal, we have the determination to fix this. We're going to fix this situation, because if we don't fix the situation in the city of Stockton in terms of our finances, we don't have much hope as a city. We have to get our expenses under control. We have to get back to where we can sustain ourselves in the next 5-10 years, because it's gotten totally out of whack, and it's time to bring it back into reality. And that's what we're working on. That's what we're determined to do. And so you're going to be reading a lot about this, and unions are going to be unhappy with us. A lot of folks are going to be unhappy with us. But we are determined. We have to fix this situation for all of you. It's that simple. Other questions? Anybody else?
Mayor Johnson.
Yes. Bob.
Just wanted to ask you about the new courthouse.
The courthouse, yeah.
The status of the start date, since that is going to have a huge positive impact on the downtown core.
Thank you, Bob. You may not know that the San Joaquin County Superior Court, actually the state of California court system, is building a new, I think it's 16-story courthouse at Hunter Square downtown. And they're working on all the plans right now, getting all the entitlements. I believe construction will begin in 2013. I think it's been pushed out to about 2013. But you're going to see major activity in the heart of Stockton, a beautiful signature building for the downtown area. Thank you. We hope that local folks are going to get some of that work, by the way. That's going to be our plan anyway. Other questions real quick? Anybody else? Yeah.
Do you have any other exciting projects happening through the Miracle Mile in downtown coming up?
You know, the Miracle Mile has really come of its own lately. They are operating on their own beautifully, getting all kinds of activities and events. You know, the Asparagus Festival was just a few weeks ago here in Stockton. That brought 104,000 people to Stockton over 3 days, which was amazing. We know that the Convention and Visitors Bureau has been given rebirth. It's now being funded adequately. We're going to see a lot of tourism business coming to Stockton. We have construction projects that are hiring local folks, buying local products. I-5 is going to be widened and resurfaced. Yeah. I-5. You already have seen some of that because I'm sure you've gotten tied up in traffic on I-5. Be ready because that's going to change that highway. We're going to do that. 99 is going to be widened. We've got 3 railroad grade separation projects on 8 Mile and Lower Sacramento Road. You won't have to stop for those trains any longer out there because those projects are underway. I mentioned the prison project. Here's one I bet nobody knows about. The Port of Stockton received a Tiger Grant, one of the pieces of the stimulus package a year ago. They received like $12 million in Tiger Grant funding to develop a marine highway at the port. And what that means is ships that come from the rest of the world and offload at the Port of Stockton, those containers will be put on barges. And those barges will come up the San Joaquin River to the Port of Stockton to be offloaded and sent out on trucks throughout the valley. That's going to start next year. And so that's going to take big trucks, like 350 trucks off the Altamont every day. Because those containers, one barge will hold 350 containers. Is that incredible? So you're going to see real activity there. And the hope is, and the port people say that in no time, they believe that there's going to be enough produce and products from the valley that can be shipped out of the port on those same barges back to the Port of Oakland for shipping to the rest of the world. So we in our own little way in Stockton are going to reverse that balance of trade that has most things coming in and nothing going out. So we believe that we're going to be shipping more products from the valley out on those barges maybe than are even coming in. So that marine highway, you're going to see that happening early next year. So that's a very exciting thing for the port, which is really an economic engine here in the city of Stockton and the county of San Joaquin.
All right.
Thank you.